My name is Jennifer Bishop. My website is formativepd.weebly.com. The website is about formative assessment. It was created for the teachers at Saco Middle School. They are currently working on learning about learning targets, writing them for students, using them in their classrooms, and making sure that that is the focus of all of their lessons. Following up on that, our administration would like to make sure that teachers have a toolbox for formative assessment. So we start with why, and this goes over why it's important. When we click on here, I always try to put the goal in the first box. And then from there, on this one I used a document where people can go in and make a copy of the document in order to make notes throughout all of their learning about observations, questions they might have, and things they'd like to try. I made it so that they can automatically make a copy so they have their own and they don't have to worry about viewing another one or going and then making a copy of another one after that. The next one goes to a webinar where Dylan William really explains what formative assessment is and why it matters. He then starts to give a few explanations of and strategies to use for formative assessment. John Hattie discusses that we're doing really great things and that no matter what you do, you most likely will affect the learning of a child. It's just a matter of how much we affect it. So through this, hopefully teachers will understand that even though we may be doing good things, there are things that have more of an impact, and those are the things that we're looking for them to do. I wanted teachers to know that they are doing a good job now, that we can do better, and that we can do better together. So this link leads you to a formative assessment professional development Padlet where teachers can collaborate and share moments of success, challenges, ideas they might have, actions that they've taken, and questions that they might have so that anybody can answer these questions at any time. When we're done, we click here to learn more, and this brings us to the modules. We start with the beginning. Dylan William really believes that you need to make sure that you understand learning intentions. And then once they do, that students need to know where they're going, how they're getting there, where they are, and then teachers need to be able to give effective feedback in order for students to reach their learning targets. Lastly, I added a module about adding technology to the mix. And this discusses how people include technology. Just including technology for the sake of technology, we know that's not good. So we want to make sure that teachers are choosing things that make sense. And then the rest are options and things that people could look at to consider using. This Symbaloo is a link to a website that offers all these different kinds of formative assessment tools. Each one of these is a link to another resource. Lastly, teachers can share which tech tool they've used. for instance, this is Answer Garden, and I really do like that one. So it adds it and it makes it into a word cloud. So the more times that Answer Garden gets entered, it gets bigger. That way teachers can see what other teachers are using around the school, and hopefully if all of these things are working, they'll be able to know that maybe that's something I need to go and check out. And I'm hopeful that teachers will start to try and look at these different tools and see if they can use something the next day. My goal is for teachers to use these things right away. I've included research. I do link to some of these in the modules, but this really supports all of the modules. But it is rather in depth, so I didn't want to make teachers have to go through that necessarily. The administration may decide that they really do want us to read all of this, in which case we could move it. But it's really important that people understand that this is research based. The collaboration tab, we have a calendar in our school where you can actually put in what you're doing and when you're doing it. And if you wanted feedback on something, you could specify what you are hopeful that colleagues would look at. And hopefully this would encourage people to use that Pineapple Calendar link a bit more. This next one brings you to that Padlet. And the last one brings you again to the Answer Garden so that people could see how and what other people are using for technology. Lastly, there's a section called More. It brings you, if you would want it to go back to the introduction, additional resources. This includes links, recommended books, and once again, the link back to the formative assessment Padlet. I really do want people to feel like this is a community and that they have access to each other at all times so that they can get help if they need it. I did include my references. A contact so that people could contact me. I would love for more feedback. I'd love to be able to continuously update this website. And lastly, just a purpose and an understanding of why we're doing this. And I wanted to put in like who I was and because I think that's important to add about at least information about the author so that they know where this is coming from and why I'm doing this. And that is my website. Please feel free to add any comments or feedback. I would greatly appreciate it. I've already started sharing this with some of my colleagues, and they're really excited to start using it.